The new Druid Troop makes almost every strategy even stronger than it already is. In this video I'll show you the top 3 strategies with the new troop, and I'll give you a quick guide on why it is so strong and what the best ways of using the new troop really are. Let's start off with the first strategy, and here we have the combination with Electro Dragons. And then you probably ask, why with Electro Dragons? Is this a ground troop? How should you combine it with Electro Dragons? Well, first of all, of course it's a ground troop, but it can target air troops unlike healers. With this strategy you're not going to use them with your Electro Dragons, but rather to support your heroes, so your heroes get even more value. Then the troop, instead of a healer, becomes a tank, and it will support your heroes even further by tanking for them, as well as by dealing a ton of damage. And that's exactly what we're going to do now right here. We send in the king as well as the queen for the eagle artillery, for the things behind it. The king, of course, with the angry jelly. If you're asking me why the angry jelly, why not for example the frosty, then take a look at this video above. I've got a very in-depth guide for you right there on why I'm using the angry jelly together with Electro Dragons. It's just the best combination. Now you can see the Electro Dragons just have no problem at all clearing through the base. You still have so many spells you can use for Electro Dragons. Even some Electro Dragons are going on the outside, but that's no problem at all. I've got more than enough inside the core, which I will just rage up. And you can already see this base is gone. Haven't even deployed my RC yet. Probably don't even need it in this attack. Still, I've got 2 wall breakers I can use to break my queen in on the back end. Now poison spell on the RC plus the king, just to slow them down a little bit. Now my RC can clear out the rest of the base very easily. But as I already said, didn't even need it, and that's exactly how you can use the new Druid Troop to get some easy 3 stars with Electro Dragons. Next attack, and here we have the next style of base, and this time an anti-2-star base, which are way more common than diamond bases these days. And here of course you can see it's a little bit harder to get value with your heroes, but of course with the skeleton spell, with the new Druid Troops, it's no problem at all. If you send it in from like the monolith side, then you have so much damage against you as well as the clan castle, so the only option is to send it in from the eagle artillery side. And then of course you have the single inferno tower, which is going to harm your king a lot. But good thing we have the skeleton spell for that. With the angry jelly, the king only targets defenses, so he will just easily walk inside of the base. Of course you still have to funnel like a little bit for your own archer queen. And now you can see king directly goes into the base. Now E-directs from the right hand side, or now E-directs from the top side with the blimp again for the town hall. Use your warn ability to protect, well, almost every single Electro Dragon. CC now comes out, that's what you have the poison for. Now just rage on the town hall is gone very easily. And just look at those heroes together with the Druid Troops. They get so much value. Both queen as well as the king are still left standing. Most of the base is already gone. You can still deploy your RC to take out the rest of the base. Still have 1 free spell to use on the enemy queen, as well as on the scatter shot, or wherever necessary. But with those Electro Dragons are going to thin out very shortly. But still, with both hero abilities you will have no problem clearing the rest of the base. And that's exactly how Electro Dragons work. Those Electro Dragons take out the main portion of the base, but then you still have your heroes, which are going to support on the back end. They will survive throughout the attack most of the times. And then of course you still have the RC together with the Hawk Puppet, together with the Haste Vial. Gets so much value, has so much power, and with that you have no problem at all clearing any type of base with Electro Dragons, with of course the help of the new Druid Troop. Quick reminder, if you want to purchase any in-game items, then make sure that you are using a creator code. To support this channel it would be code RHBB. Thanks a lot, and now let's continue with the video. And now we come to the next strategy with the Druid Troop, and that's of course the combination with Root Riders. The synergy between Root Riders and Druids are of course inevitable. What's so strong in this combination is that you can just delay your Warden ability with the Healing Tome for such a long time. So you can like delay your warden ability for 20 to 30 seconds and use it whenever the Druid troops transform into bears. And that's exactly the time where you use your warden ability to protect both your root fighters, protect both your druids, well, your bears. They will still have a healing effect on them for the next 20 seconds. So you have like a healing of 50 seconds, which is almost half of the attack. Sometimes even more than half of the attack. Your root fighters will be healed for a very, very large amount. King and queen on the outside, or well, in this case only the king, because the queen walked inside again, which is no problem at all. The king gets a lot of value on its own. On this double invest tower base, the main thing you want to do is funnel one side with your heroes, funnel the other side with your barracks, and then you want to send in your root fighters straight through the middle, so they have no pathing, so they have nowhere to go except for the middle. They will trigger both of the invest towers like the bears now do. Then you drop your overgrowth to reset those invest towers and just to, well, take out that portion of the base. The invest towers can't reload, and then the rest of the base is just completely gone before the town hall is activated again. The overgrowth spell also has such a great synergy together with root fighters. Still have one free spell left, as well as one rage spell left. That's always what you kind of want. That's also what the pro players do. Whenever the overgrowth spell runs out, you want to have one rage spell and one free spell to take out the rest of the last remaining of the base. Works out perfectly every single time. Freeze the town or rage your troops, and the rest of the base will be gone in no time, and the town hall poison will do no harm at all. Now we have another base type with the root riders, and this time we have a box base instead of like the double invest tower and a 2-star base. And on this base as well, root riders are incredibly strong, and the druids do even more work. Of course, you don't have such nice overgrowth value, but the overgrowth is a spell concept which, well, in most cases it always gets value. You just need to deploy it on like a portion of the base that has a lot of damage in it. For example, in this case it would be like the back and scatter compartment, and your overgrowth spell will always have value. You don't need to always deploy it on the town hall. That's of course always, well, in most cases the case. You drop the overgrowth spell onto the town hall, but in some cases it's not necessary, like in this one, because, well, your heroes, your king, your queen takes out the town hall with ease. The barracks funnels the other side perfectly, and exactly, the druids transform into bears, and that's the time where you use your warn ability. You will have some more healing on those root riders, and they will just survive throughout the remaining of the attack. Of course, they got like a huge HP nerf as well as a damage nerf, but the HP nerf is no problem at all anymore, because they will still survive throughout the attack with the druids, with like the healing tome on the warden. And you can see this is an absolute overkill. This is completely destroyed. This base is gone within no time. So many root riders still left, most of the bears are still left. RC is still full life, queen ability not even needed. Root riders together with druids is an incredibly strong combination. If you want some easy 3 stars, then try it out yourself. Of course, the army links of every single strategy are linked in the description, but if you want some easy 3 stars, this is the one I recommend for you. And if you want to have a lot of fun, then this is the strategy I would recommend to you. Because oh boy, the combination of druids and super bowlers is a lot of fun. The good thing about those druids is that you, again, just like with the root by attack strategy, you can delay your warden ability for such a long time. That was always the biggest weakness of super bowlers, is that you had to use like a early warden ability because there was so much damage. Now with the druid, your super bowlers survive for way longer, so you can delay that warden ability with the eternal tome, with the healing tome for way longer, and use it in the core of the base when it's most necessary. A warden walk for one side of the base to funnel, flame flinger for the other side of the base to funnel. Together with like the funnel on both sides of the base, those super bowlers have nowhere to go except for except into the core of the base. Now when the ricochet can as well as the gold storage go down from the flame flinger, I will pause it a little bit right here and just take a look at this funnel. Your troops have nowhere to go except for into the middle of the base, and that's exactly how you want to funnel in Clash of Clans. Then of course you can use the jump spell on the monolith. You will have access towards the town hall. This is a textbook attack if you want to attack with super bowlers or like any kind of smash in Clash of Clans. You want to funnel both sides and then have your smash run into this middle of the base. You don't really need to protect your king ability. You can use your king ability to protect your super bowlers for even longer, so you can delay the warn ability for even longer. Now is probably the time where I use my warn ability exactly when most of the troops are going to split. Some go to the top side, some run into the town hall compartment. That's exactly when you want to use your warn ability inside the core when most of the troops are going to split. That's exactly when you use your Eternal Tome, when you use your warn ability. And this base again is crushed. Of course it's not maxed, but on a max base it would have worked as well because so many troops are still alive. Still just deployed my RC, probably even didn't need it at all. Flamethrower is still left standing. I believe almost every super bowler, I believe one super bowler went down, the rest is still left standing. This base is crushed. If you're struggling with this base, of course it's a very, very common base design. Just copy this attack strategy. It's so much fun, it's so easy to do, it's completely worth it, believe me. And now we have another base, which I would say is a little harder to attack with super bowlers because, well, you can't really attack it from the side because the base is just so wide. You can't access into the town hall because, well, you don't have access to the Eagle Artillery in the backhand, which is going to harm your super bowlers. So the only way of attacking this base is by going into the Eagle Artillery. But the good thing is, whenever you use the warn ability in the core, your troops will split up a little bit, but they will still survive throughout the main portion of the damage, and then you can just use they will box through one of the walls because they have nowhere to go. And then you can use your jump spell to access the town hall. That's exactly what I did. And that's exactly what we're going to take a look at this time. This time on this base, with the expo setup, you can't really use a flame flinger to do the funneling on the other side. Again, of course, you have funnel on one side with the warden walk, funnel on the other side with like the flame flinger. But in this case, a flame flinger didn't get much value, so you used the siege barracks instead. Like, you either use the siege barracks or you use the flame flinger to funnel the other side, and now you can just send in the rest of the troops whenever your warden has funneled like a little bit. Just use your rage spells whenever necessary. Don't save them for too long. You've got 4 rage spells in total, so just use them whenever you feel necessary to do so. Just take a look at how this siege barracks did a perfect job on funneling this side. The warden walk, of course, funneled the other side perfectly. But now you have the big problem is, how do I access the town hall? I use my king ability right now to just hope for it to box through the wall. Sadly didn't work out. Warden ability, of course, in the core, protects against the enemy queen, protects against both the scatter shots. Now I just took a look. Most of my super bowlers go to the top side, so that's where I used the jump spell to access the town hall. Sadly, all healers were on my king, but that's no problem because those super bowlers wouldn't go down for too long. Well, the super bowlers have so much hit points, so they don't go down very, very quickly. Together with like the last remaining of free spells, you can get the town hall down relatively quickly. Of course, support your king with the RC, so that's remaining of the base, so that portion of the base also goes down relatively quickly. Still have 1 free spell as well as 1 rage spell just to use for your RC. You can be very, very flexible with those spells, and that's exactly what you need to do. Make sure to try it out yourself, it's so much fun. Army links, of course, are in the description. Make sure to follow our channel to stay up to date with any tips around Clash of Clans or any content around Clash of Clans. And with that, I would say, see you guys next week with the next video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.